We will now see how we can make the cylinder in a different way. So, and the crankcase will be the starting point. So I will select the crankcase, and then I will hide unselected, Control Alt Space. Then we will drag a cylinder, right drag a cylinder, and we will drop it here on the center point. If you don't find the center point, you can use the Shift key and snap to this edge and let go there and drop as part. And we will change the thickness to 4, and the diameter, I will left drag this handle and press and hold the Control key to snap. I move to 64 millimeters. When it is selected in IntelliShape level, I will right click and go to Edit Cross Section. So and then we will project this surface to the grid. So I come up here to select Project and click on this surface. Then press Escape to exit the Project command and deselect. So now we have to trim the geometry. So I press S key and select Trim, and I will trim the lines and the circle like so. And then I press Escape to exit the Trim command. We have to change the diameter of this hole. We see that the radius is 1.65. It should be 2. So I'll select the circle and type 2 and hit enter. So I will do the same with the other circles. Select it and type 2 and hit enter. Like so. And then I will right click and choose Finish Drawing. So now we have the mounting flange. Next step is to make the cooling fins. And to do that we will use Spin Wizard. So we come up here to select Spin Wizard, and I will move the camera to this position so that I can select the center point here. So I click here and we will add more material. Click Next, 360, and along the selected surface. Then I will click Finish. So the next step is to project this edge to the grid. So I select Project again and click this edge so that we have a line here on the grid. And then I press Escape to exit the Project command. And then I grab this endpoint and drag it to the origin, like so. This part of the cooling fin, or the cylinder, has a diameter of 40 millimeters. So I will select the line on this side of the midpoint so that we have the arrowhead on this side. And if we go to the properties here, we see that we have the length here already selected. So the diameter is 40, the radius should then be 20. So I will type 20 and hit enter. So it will extend the line in this direction. Then I grab this endpoint and drag it to this edge so it snaps to this edge, like so. So now we have the right length of this line. Then I will move the camera so that it will point perpendicular to the grid. And perhaps you remember that we have the Look At command down here, but you can also use W key on the keyboard. And I will click here on the origin to move the camera. Then I press the S key to select Polyline, and we begin here on this endpoint to draw the profile of the cooling fins. So I will start here, and then I drag up perpendicular upward and right click, and this distance should be 6 millimeters. And then we draw the line in this direction, and the cooling fins has a diameter of 50 millimeters, and this part has a diameter of 40 millimeters. So this line should have a length of 5 millimeters. So I will right click here and type 5. And the thickness of the cooling fin is 3 millimeters. I will drag perpendicular in this direction, right click and type 3. Then I draw the line in this direction, and it should snap to this endpoint here, or you can also right click and type 5. So I will drag in this direction, right click and type 5. Then in this direction, right click and type 3. And we should have 4 cooling fins. So we continue drawing the line. When you draw the line to this position, it will snap to that node. So here I will click, and then I will go this way, right click, type 3, then I go back, and it will snap there, 5 millimeters. I will click here, and then I go up, right click and type 3, and go back to 5 millimeters. Here I click, and then I go up and right click and type 3, hit enter, go back to this position. Here I will click and up again, right click, type 3, go back to this position here, 5 millimeters. Here I will click, and this will be the final cooling fin. So I will right click here, type 3 and hit enter, and now we should snap to this line. So I will move this endpoint down here to touch this endpoint, not to click here, but to touch it. Then you will see that we will have a green dotted guideline here, and here I will click, and then I will go down to the starting point here, like so, to finish the line. Then I press escape to exit the command and right click here and choose finish drawing, and we have made the cylinder. So I will select the cylinder, go over to the properties. So here I will type cylinder, alternative, alt, hit enter, copy and paste it here. Then I go back to the scene, come down here, and we expand this cylinder now. We see that it has only 2 features, cylinder and turn. So that was a different way of making the cylinder. But this cylinder will not be the original part of the Stirling engine, so I will select it, right click and click suppress. You can also use the K key on the keyboard. So select the cylinder, press K to suppress it. Then we will bring back all the hidden parts by pressing shift space. Then I will go back to top front right and fit scene, and I will save the scene.